Olive was sitting on a bench in a quiet city park. She was wearing a mac and sunglasses. Shivered Olive. A squirrel wearing identical clothes to Olive and carrying a small briefcase walked past. He looked around suspiciously, then hopped onto the bench.
The park is pleasant in the autumn.
I suppose it is. My name's Olive. What's yours?
Hello, Agent Olive. I am Red Squirrel. You will find our mission objectives in the case.
Olive curiously opened the briefcase. Inside was a piece of paper with some instructions.
Approach picnic, obtain nuts, escape without being seen.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it.
Well, why not?
Olive followed Red Squirrel to some large bushes in the middle of the park.
Over there, Agent Olive.
Yes, I see the nuts. Maybe I could distract them while you run up behind and take the nuts.
Okay, but Agent Olive, you must not blow your cover.
Olive noticed a dog bounding around in the distance.
Aha! I could disguise myself as a dog, using these leaves and this conker. How do I look?
Excellent.
Olive came bounding out in front of the family. The girl and her mum watched Olive curiously while Red Squirrel scampered up behind. But before he could take the nuts, a real dog came charging out of nowhere and chased Olive and Red Squirrel back into the bushes.
Watch out!
Okay. We need a plan B.
Olive looked around and spotted an old kite stuck in a hedge.
I know. It's a windy day today. If I tie you to that kite, then the wind will lift you up above the picnic and you can swoop down and snatch the nuts.
A brilliant plan.
Olive carefully tied Red Squirrel to the kite and flew him high above the picnic. But just as he was about to dive, a strong gust of wind came and blew him up into a tree. Olive climbed up to untangle him.
Don't worry. I'll have you free in no time.
Then Olive noticed something. The picnic was directly below them, and so were the nuts.
A kite string? A tree? I think I may have an idea.
Olive made a little harness from the string and tied it round Red Squirrel.
Okay, just need to lower you down.
This plan cannot fail.
She started lowering Red Squirrel down towards the picnic. When he was low enough, Red Squirrel reached out and grabbed the nuts. Olive began slowly pulling him back up, but then the little girl spotted him.
Squirrel! Squirrel!
Code Red, Olive, abort!
Olive jumped and accidentally let go of the string. Red Squirrel came crashing down, dropping the bag of nuts.
Olive, run! Save yourself!
Then the little girl picked up some nuts and offered them to Red Squirrel.
There you go. We brought these nuts to the park today to feed the squirrels. They're meant for you.
Red Squirrel gratefully took the nuts and Olive pulled him back up.
Thank you, Agent Olive. Now I can feed my family for the winter months. Our mission is accomplished. Would you like one?
Delicious. You'd have to be nuts not to like these.
They both laughed. And as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Heck, actually, I helped a squirrel carry out a secret mission.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was in a big room surrounded by tall shelves full of books. It was very quiet.
Where am I?
Said Olive, rather loudly.
Shh! Be quiet, please. You're in a library.
A face peered out from behind one of the bookshelves. It was a little red squirrel with a big bushy tail.
Oh, sorry.
Olive whispered.
I'm Olive. Why is it so quiet in this library?
Because it's a place where you come to read or borrow books. It's best to have quiet when you're trying to read. I'm Henry Huckleberry, and I love to read.
Oh, me too.
Trouble is, I can't find my favourite book anywhere.
What's it called?
It's a big yellow book called Attack of the Mutant Space Frogs. It's really awesome.
It was then Olive and Henry heard someone muttering.
Oh dear, oh dear.
They peered behind a shelf and saw a little red-faced bookworm putting books back on the shelves.
Oh dear, oh bother.
Excuse me.
Whispered Olive.
What? What is it? I'm very busy, you know.
We're looking for a book. Wilfred, it's called Attack of the Mute.
Sorry, I haven't got time to find your book. I've got all these books to put back on the shelves. Too much to do. Got to go.
Henry sighed.
This place is such a mess. My book could be anywhere.
Wait,
Said Olive.
look, there's a yellow book on the top of that tall shelf.
Oh, yes, that's Attack of the Mutant Space Frogs. But we're never going to reach it way up there.
Lots of books that can be piled up really high. I think I may have an idea.
Henry and Olive stacked the books higher and higher until the pile almost touched the ceiling.
There, we'll have your book down in no time.
Olive began to climb the stack of books, but as Olive climbed higher, the books became more and more wobbly.
Oh,
Be careful, Olive.
Whispered Henry. Finally, Olive got to the top. She had to lean over to grab Henry's book with her beak, but then the stack of the books really started to wobble. Olive couldn't keep her balance anymore. And then the whole stack collapsed. The books came tumbling down into a huge heap, burying Olive and Henry.
Oops.
Said Olive. Wilfred came rushing over.
Shh! What is this terrible mess?
Sorry, we were just trying to get my favourite book from the top shelf, and it all went horribly wrong.
We can help you put all these books back on the shelves, Wilfred.
Well, yes, I suppose that would be very helpful.
So Olive, Henry and Wilfred put all the books back onto the shelves. Finally, there was just one book left.
Wow! Attack of the Mutant Space Frogs. I've been looking for this book for ages. It's my favourite.
Wow, mine too.
Beamed Henry.
Why don't we read it together?
Yes! Great idea!
Shouted Wilfred.
Shush.
Shushed Olive and Henry.
Sorry,
Whispered Wilfred.
I should really keep my voice down. This is a library, don't you know?
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Okay. Actually, I helped find Attack of the Mutant Space Frogs.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was standing in a big science laboratory, surrounded by test tubes filled with colourful, bubbling liquids. She wore a white lab coat and a big pair of safety goggles. Suddenly, she heard a voice.
No. What is the answer to this problem?
Olive turned around and saw a small man in a lab coat. He was muttering to himself and staring into a microscope.
Hello, I'm Olive.
Ouch, you startled me. I am Professor Comeover, but you can call me Herr Comeover. I am a very busy scientist. What can I do for you?
I was going to ask you the same thing. Are you in a spot of bother?
I've been trying to invent a cure for baldness for many years. It's driving me mad.
The professor turned and picked up 2 bottles from the table.
I need to mix together the right ingredients for the cure. If I do, I will have beautiful flowing hair again. Oh, how I miss my hair. Look, this is me when I was younger. Handsome, eh? I just can't find the right ingredients.
I don't know much about ingredients for your cure, I'm afraid.
Then Olive spotted something in the corner of the lab.
A mop. I think I may have an idea. Close your eyes, Herr Comeover.
Professor Comeover closed his eyes. Olive pulled the handle off the mop and stuck it on top of the professor's head.
You can open your eyes now.
The professor looked in a mirror.
I look like my great-aunt Brunhilde.
He shrieked.
I don't want this. I want to grow my own.
All right, keep your hair on.
Look, if you really want to help, I need you to get that big blue book down from the shelf.
Well, this book can't have been open in a very long time. It's covered in dust.
Olive opened the book and dust flew up everywhere. And Olive couldn't help sneezing.
Achoo!
The sneeze made her fall backwards into a shelf filled with hundreds of bottles. One of them toppled over and poured orange liquid into a beaker of purple liquid on the table.
No, wait, that's not good.
Cried the professor. All of a sudden there was a huge bang.
I don't believe it. It's a miracle. You did it, Olive. You found the cure for baldness. You're a scientific genius.
Professor Combover was so excited he danced about all over the place.
Thanks very much.
Beamed Olive. It was then she caught her own reflection in the mirror.
Well, I like it, but this huge hairdo could take some getting used to. Hey, would you like me to style yours a bit?
Why not?
Replied the professor. Using a comb and a pair of scissors, Olive went to work styling the professor's new hairdo.
What do you think?
Thank you very much.
Well, it looks like you won't be needing to read this dusty old science book anymore. Oh no, I'm going to... Achoo! I've lost all me hair. Oh well, here today, gone tomorrow, eh?
They both laughed. And as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Actually, I've been helping cure baldness.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Until she popped up somewhere new. Olive found herself in a village street with lots of shops.
Oh, just the hat for a rainy day.
Olive spotted a postman sitting on a bench nearby. He looked rather sad.
Hello, Mr. Postman. I'm Olive. Are you okay?
Not really. The 3 parcels I was supposed to deliver today have fallen out through this hole in my post bag, and now they're lost.
If we retrace your steps, maybe we'll find them.
Yes, we could try.
Olive and the postman walked down the village street and saw a baby elephant in its pram, giggling and playing with something. It was a brown parcel.
Ah, that's one of my missing parcels.
Oh, the baby thinks the parcel is its new toy. Maybe it would like to swap the parcel for a tickly feather.
Olive plucked a feather from her wing and tickled the end of the baby's long nose. The baby started to laugh and Olive swapped the parcel for the feather.
He loves it. Okay, where to next?
The mechanic's workshop.
Soon, Olive and the postman were standing outside the mechanic's workshop. A car was sitting high in the air on a lift. And on top of the car roof was another parcel.
Oh dear, the mechanic is on his lunch break. How are we going to reach that parcel?
Olive noticed a wheel hubcap lying on the floor.
I think a spot of frisbee throwing should do the trick.
Olive threw the hubcap towards the parcel. Whiz! Clunk! It knocked the parcel off the car roof, sending it toppling down into the postman's waiting arms.
Oh, good shot, Olive. One more parcel to find.
And I think I know exactly where it is.
In the centre of the village was a fountain, and bouncing around on top of the jet of water was the final parcel.
Oh dear, we're never going to catch it.
Olive spotted a tap nearby. She turned the tap off, and the water stopped gushing from the fountain, sending the parcel dropping down into the postman's arms.
Oh, but Olive, look. The rain has washed all the addresses off the parcels. How will we know who they belong to? They all look the same.
3 similar-looking parcels that all smell different. I think I may have an idea. We can work out where the parcels need to go by smelling them. That way we can guess what's inside.
Great idea, Olive.
Olive smelt the first parcel.
This one smells of flowers.
It must be for the flower shop.
Olive was right. It was a bunch of flowers. Olive smelt the second parcel.
Ah, this smells of oil.
It must be for the mechanic's shop.
Olive was right again. It was a new oil can. Olive smelt the last parcel.
Ooh, that smells of a sheep. Oh, it must be wool for the tailors.
The tailor was very pleased with the postman for delivering his parcel. And to say thank you, he sewed up the hole in the postbag to make sure the postman never lost any parcels again.
Thank you for all your help, Olive.
That's okay. I think I may have a nose for delivering the post.
They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Olive.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Okay. Actually, I've been helping deliver the post.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive found herself on a stage with lots of animals playing musical instruments. She was wearing a long black jacket with tails. At the front of the musicians, Olive could see a man waving his arms all over the place.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Olive turned and saw an octopus playing a xylophone. She seemed to be getting her 8 legs in a terrible tangle.
I'm Olive. Is everything okay?
I'm Jenny. Oh, the conductor's going way too fast today. Oh!
Is the conductor the man waving his arms around over there?
That's him.
Said a little mouse, frantically banging on a big bass drum next to Jenny.
I'm Barry, and I can't keep up either.
Olive watched the conductor. His arms were almost a blur.
Where is the triangle that goes ting?
Quick, the triangle. You'll have to play it. Jenny's too tangled up.
Okay. How does it work?
Just hit it with a little stick.
The conductor pointed at Olive, and she hit the triangle. But then he went even faster until she couldn't keep up either.
What happened to the big round thing that goes crash?
He means those cymbals. Can you play them too? Just pick them up by the straps and crash them together.
Like this?
Not now, when I point at you.
The orchestra kept playing, and the conductor kept conducting even faster.
Triangle, cymbals, triangle, cymbals.
Shouted the conductor at Olive. She had to run back and forth, switching between the two instruments as fast as she could.
Ow!
Finally, the piece was finished. The orchestra and Olive collapsed exhausted. But now the audience were coming in and finding their seats. That was only a rehearsal. They still had to play the piece all over again.
This is a nightmare. My orchestra is exhausted. What are we going to do?
But why is he still waving his arms?
There was definitely something funny going on. So she decided to go and talk to the conductor.
Excuse me, I'm Olive. Could you please slow down a bit?
Slow down. No, I cannot do this because of the problem I am having with this pesky fly.
The conductor swatted at a fly buzzing round his head, and Olive realised that was why he'd been waving his arms so fast.
I can't get rid of it.
A pesky fly, some cymbals. I think I may have an idea.
Olive grabbed the cymbals and set off, chasing the fly through the orchestra, over the cellos, round the tubas, in between the violins and under the piano.
Come here, fly!
The fly was pretty fast, but Olive didn't give up.
Pecking!
Then there was silence. Olive held the cymbals tightly together and listened. She could hear the fly buzzing around inside. The audience and orchestra all clapped loudly.
That was the first ever performance of the Fly and Cymbal Concerto by Olive the Ostrich.
The fly finally buzzed off, right out of the concert hall. Barry and Jenny ran over to Olive.
Well done, Olive. You've got a real knack with those cymbals.
Yes, that was amazing. It would be great if you could join our orchestra.
Thanks for the offer, but I really must fly.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Peck, actually, I caught a fly and played in an orchestra.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was in a large white room, sitting at a desk. There was a strange machine in front of her. It had lots of metal keys and a sheet of paper poking out of the top. All around her were monkeys sitting in front of similar machines and tapping away at the keys.
Oh, what's going on here?
Said Olive rather loudly.
Shh! Why aren't you typing?
Whispered the monkey next to Olive.
Sorry, I'm Olive. What's typing?
I'm Cornelius. Typing is what we're doing on these typewriters.
I don't really know what to type.
It doesn't matter. Just make sure you're typing when he gets...
Monkey with the feathers, why aren't you typing?
Olive saw a rhinoceros striding towards her.
But what do you want me to type, Doctor?
The name's Dr. Horner, and I don't really give a monkeys what you type. Just get typing!
Cake, okay.
A flustered Olive quickly began to type. Dr. Horner walked out through a door, locking it behind him.
Why are you all locked up in here?
Dr. Horner says we're taking part in an important literature research project, so it's vital we all keep typing. I'm typing a story about a wizard monkey. Carlton here is writing a book about monkeys in space, and Lucius over there writes monkey poetry.
We all want to escape and get our stories published.
I'd love to see my book in a bookshop, but as long as we're trapped in here, it's hopeless.
Sighed Carlton sadly. Olive looked up. High above her was an open window in the ceiling.
A high-up window, lots of typewriters. I think I may have an idea.
Olive collected up all the typewriters and began to stack them on top of each other until a tower of typewriters rose up to the window.
Okay, now all we need to do is climb this tower and we can escape.
The tower creaked and wobbled.
I don't know. It doesn't look very safe to me, Olive.
Well, it's the only way out. We'll just have to be extra careful. I'll go first.
Olive cautiously began to climb the teetering tower of typewriters, and all the monkeys followed. But as she reached the top, the tower started to really wobble.
Perhaps this wasn't such a good idea after all.
No, maybe we should all climb down before it falls.
Suddenly, the door swung open, and Dr. Horner strode back in, his face red with anger.
What's this? An escape attempt?
Just then, the tower of typewriters finally toppled.
Cake! Quick, everyone! Join on!
Olive grabbed the window frame with one wing and Cornelius's hand with the other. All the monkeys joined together just in time as the typewriters crashed to the ground. Olive jumped out of the window and started to pull up the monkeys, but Dr. Horner grabbed hold of Carlton's tail.
Ha-ha! There's no escape!
Tickle him, Carlton!
Shouted Olive. Carlton gave Dr. Horner a good tickling. And he let go of Carlton's tail. Olive quickly pulled them up and they all escaped. The monkeys were so pleased to be free at last, they all leapt around and chattered with joy.
Thanks so much for helping us escape, Olive. We're off to the big city to get our stories published. I plan to be the next J.K. Simeon.
Good luck. And make sure you all keep writing. No time for monkeying around.
They all laughed. And as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Cake? Actually, I've been helping some typing monkeys escape.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure.